Hey, ladies, happy Wednesday. Let me make sure you can see me. Part of my head always gets cut off in these lives. Okay, so we are here this week for our Wednesday live training. This week we're talking about steps and step goals, meeting our step goals. Why is it important? What are ways, strategies that we can do to increase our steps? So let me check here, making sure we're live in the group. Yes, we are. Okay. So we're just going to get right to it. This one should not be very long this week. I know sometimes I get a little long-winded. Sorry. I like to talk. But we're just going to pretty much get right to the point this week. We shouldn't be too long. So we hear all of the time, get your steps. Don't forget to get your steps. Make sure, go for walks, blah, 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 blah. So a lot of us go out, we buy Fitbits, we buy Apple Watches or other step trackers and things to help us to meet our goals. And we're thinking that this step tracker is going to be the motivation that we need. And then we still just basically sit on the couch and make jokes about how low our steps are. That's essentially how it works. And I am super guilty of it myself. I am not calling any of you out. I'm kind of calling myself out. So I want to talk to you about a study from the National Institutes of Health and basically their findings regarding steps. And this is going to sort of provide the why part of today's live. Why do we need to be hitting our step goals? So according to the study, they determined that 4,000 or fewer steps per day is considered a low level of activity or sedentary. So like when you're doing things like maybe calculating out your calories, a lot of people very highly misjudge their activity level and misjudge what is considered like low level of activity, high activity, or a high high impact is not the word I'm looking for, but jobs or work that is considered high levels of activity. So 4,000 or fewer steps a day is considered low level activity. Like I used to be a teacher. I was a teacher for 18 years. A lot of you know that. And I thought that I was easily getting 10,000 steps a day. And it wasn't until I started wearing a step tracker that I was like, oh, I am not. It turns out I actually don't walk around a lot. I never sat, but I also really didn't walk that much. When you're in a classroom, you're in this box, there's only so far to go, right? So it turned out I was getting way fewer steps than I thought because I was standing a lot and I wasn't actually walking. And so when I would calculate my calories way back when, I was considering myself active. And then I realized, ooh, I'm actually not so active. So I was giving myself in my calculations too many calories for the goals that I was trying to hit at the time. So 4,000 steps or fewer is considered low activity or sedentary. So keep that in mind. A lot of times we hear people say we need to get to 10,000 steps. Like this is sort of like the baseline. Everybody says get 10,000 steps. But the reality is that 10,000 is just a nice round number. That's not necessarily like the end all be all or like a hard and fast rule. So in this study that I mentioned, they used 4,840 people, and all of these people were aged 40 and over. That's an important point to keep in mind. And they had all of them wear a step tracker where it tracked how many steps they were getting, but also like their step cadence as far as like steps per minute. So kind of like the intensity of their steps throughout the day. And then what they did is after they gathered the data as far as steps go, then they followed these people. Essentially, they checked back in with them over the course of 10 years after they calculated their steps. So in this follow-up, they took the people and they grouped them into people who got up to 4,000 steps, people who were then up to 8,000 steps, and then people who were up to 12,000 steps. And then they also looked at factors like if the intensity of their steps made a difference or made any kind of an impact on health. So that's sort of how they set it up. And then over the course of those 10 years, just over 1,000, it was 1,165 people had died from the start of the study over the 10 years. And the results had shown that people who took 8,000 steps a day had a 50% lower risk of death compared to those who only walked 4,000 steps a day. Then the gap even widened when they looked at the people who were getting the 12,000 and more steps a day. Those people had a 65% lower risk of death than those in the 4,000 step range. Huge, y'all, huge. It makes such a big difference. The benefits of this were completely consistent across age. When they broke up the ages, it was consistent across gender, consistent across race groups. The results repeatedly kept coming back the same. They also noted that the intensity of the steps did not really seem to be an indicator of the reduced risk of death. Only the actual number of steps is what seemed to make the difference. So you don't necessarily need to go power walk. You know, so like I always think of, there's that gif with the older ladies with like the headbands and the little pink weights and they're going down the street. You don't necessarily have to do that. Literally just any steps through the grocery store, right? Steps to the bathroom, steps anywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be super intense. It's literally just steps. So I do want to point out, and some of you might be thinking this too, that there are absolutely some holes in this study. This study is not like super foolproof or anything. Like they don't take into consideration other health factors like family history of, any kind of diseases that might cause premature death. Doesn't even take into consideration lifestyle choices like drinking or smoking or even like nutrition quality. But it absolutely gives us some pretty clear guidance that's hard to dispute as far as the benefits of moving more and sitting less. So there's our why. If that isn't a big enough why for you, then I don't know what to tell you. Literally a 65% reduction in death, or even a 50% reduction just by getting to 8,000 steps. You don't even need to get to the 10,000 to have those benefits. So how can we get these steps in when so many of us are living currently sedentary lifestyles? So the reality is that you literally need to be purposeful. They have to be deliberate steps, no pun intended, that need to be taken to get your steps in. So we need to plan for it, prepare for it, and literally force it until it becomes natural to you, until it becomes second nature. So some small changes that you can easily kind of tweak into your lifestyle as you are right now is just basic stuff, and this is probably some stuff that is not new to you. Park farther away, whether it's at work, whether it's at the grocery store, wherever you're going, park towards the back of the lot instead of waiting 5 minutes for somebody to pull out of the spot up front. I always see that at the grocery store and I'm like, yo, just go park your car and walk. It'll be okay. So park at the back, get some extra steps in just walking into wherever you're going. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. That's sort of a go-to advice that people give. I am a pacer. I pace everywhere I go. I don't like standing still. So when I'm talking on the phone, which to be honest these days isn't a whole lot, I feel like we text all the time, but like just yesterday, for example, I was talking to my brother on the phone and I will pace my kitchen. I'll just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's wild how many steps you can get just by pacing around your kitchen. So talk on the phone, just walk. Instead of sit, just walk around. Take the long way when you're going somewhere. So like if you work in an office and you're refilling your coffee cup, take the long way around to get there instead of the direct route. Same with like going to the restroom, things like that. So when you're going somewhere, take the long way around wherever it might be. So these are small, simple things that all of us can implement right now. Like it's something you can do just this second, today. And then there are things that are, things where you need to be a little more purposeful and more deliberate, but they will certainly benefit your health. Taking a walk after dinner or after meals. Take a walk anytime, but particularly after meals, it gives you added bonus points for improved digestion. Waking up a little bit early in the morning and taking a 20-minute walk around the neighborhood before you get your day started. If you're one who sits at a desk all day, which a lot of us do, set a timer on your phone for like every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes, and then promise yourself that when that timer goes off, you're just going to take 3 minutes or 5 minutes to get some movement. So a movement break. Get your eyes away from a screen, first of all, take a screen break. And then secondly, go walk down the hall and back or around the building, or even walk to refill your coffee cup, whatever, but some kind of purposeful get up, stretch your legs, get away from a screen, even if it's just standing next to your desk. And I do a lot of jogging in place. Ask people at the gym. I literally will stand there and just run in place. People are like, do you have to go to the bathroom? I'm like, no, I'm just getting my steps. It's okay. But, jogging in place or doing some stretching, things like that. Anything that'll get you away from your desk, away from your screen, and get you a little bit of movement. There's also a lot of really awesome walking YouTube videos that you can pull up that will get you X number of steps if you walk in place or jog in place to the beat. A few different people have posted those in our group. I think April and Keisha both have posted different ones of those that they did those, and they're fun and they get it done, and and it's in the house. You don't even have to go anywhere. You're inside, particularly if you're in a place where being outside, the weather is not conducive to walking, depending on the time of year. So finally, you can also invest in things like treadmills or ellipticals. I have one of these small treadmills. It's just flat. It doesn't have like the rails and everything to hold on to. It was a couple $100 on Amazon. Easy peasy. But there's lots of other things that you can do should you choose to. But the awesome thing about walking is it's free. You don't need all this stuff. The machines and things are great. If you're able to go out and walk in nature, that is always preference number one. Being outdoors in nature not only gets you your steps, but it has also been proven to benefit mental health as well as reduce stress. So lots of extra added bonuses in there. Go after your meal. Then you get good digestion. Out in nature helps with mental health, helps reduce stress. So lots of added benefits on top of just simply getting your steps in. So just, any kind of green spaces you can go walk in, along water. If you have like a lake or a creek or a river, something near you, the sound of that water is super beneficial for mental and emotional health too. So, like I said, short and sweet today. That's about all I've got today. So in the comments, if you could post any other ideas that you have, maybe ways that you work to get your steps in that we can share with the group as a whole, that would be super rad. Also, don't forget that we are using hashtag Goal Digger this week, GOALDIGGER. So anything that you are doing to work towards any goals at all that you have, no specific goals, anything. It could be nutrition goals. Maybe it is step goals, since we're talking about steps this week. It could be, getting workouts done. It could be increasing weight on some of your lifts. It could be getting to bed at a certain time. It could be practicing stress reducing strategies like deep breathing or yoga. Anything at all that helps meet any goal that you personally have to improve your health. I want you posting in the group on it this week. Use the hashtag Goal Digger and you will be entered into the drawing for a gift card on Friday evening. So make sure you are around and come back on Friday evening. There's no set time for that. It all just depends on when I get home from the gym, when I get home from the gym depends on how much I talk, because I talk a lot. So at least I own it, right? So have a great rest of your week. I want to hear all about your ideas for getting in more steps, or any questions that you have, any ideas for future lives. Next week, we're going to talk about emotional eating, so make sure you come back for that. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. Drink your water, eat your protein, and I want you to go try something new this week. Go be adventurous. Try something new. I'll see you later. Have a great week.